By now, you've probably seen people online changing their lives with dropshipping, showing you how easy it is. These people seem like they've just cracked the code on online business and e-commerce in general by turning average people that are just scrolling on social media platforms into purchasing customers. Now, what if I told you it was actually as easy as they're saying? Well, in my experience, it really is. It's super easy to actually follow this process. The hard part is actually sticking with it until you get the results. But if you are capable of handling that and working on this day over day until it works, this video is for you. Right now is the perfect time to start in 2024 because of a lot of different reasons. There are so many new tools out here that make e-commerce a lot easier and the whole process in general compared to when I started back in 2018. And on top of that, more and more people are getting used to shopping online. I'm sure your grandma shops online. That widens up our audience and the people that we can actually attract and get onto our website to make a purchase from you. So I've been doing this for about 6 years, and after building multiple 7-figure online businesses, it's safe to say that I have the knowledge and the experience to show you step by step on how to do this. And lucky for you, I'm gonna reveal it all in this video. All right, so here's what you need to do before we get started. The first thing that you need to do is cut out all of your distractions and dedicate a certain amount of time right now to watching this video. It's not gonna take too long, and it's definitely well worth it if you are committed to this and wanna actually do this full time as a career. Step 2 is gonna be grab a pen and paper. You can obviously use your laptop as well to take notes or follow along step by step as I go over each of these processes. And the third step is obviously paying attention until the end. The amount of people that drop off just when they first start looking for a product versus the people that actually get through the entire process is crazy. Which brings me back to the first point that I had. If you can commit to this, it will work for you. The only problem that I see with a lot of people starting is that they give up before they really actually start. So if you can do all of those things, dedicate some time, and you really want this to work, this video again is for you, so let's get right into it. First, let's cover what dropshipping is. You've probably heard the term, but what is it exactly? Well, dropshipping is really just a logistics model. It's not necessarily a business model. So how the process works typically is you build up a Shopify store, you run some advertisements to it with specific products that you want to sell. And when a customer goes onto your website and purchases from you, you actually place that order with your supplier on the back end. They ship it out directly to the customer. Therefore, you don't have to warehouse any inventory yourself. All you have to do is focus on finding these products and marketing them efficiently, and you get to keep the profit in between. So if you find a product for $10 and you sell it for 30, then in theory, you're making $20 on each of those profits for a customer. It really is an easy process. It just takes a lot of time to learn all of the mechanisms around it. But once you do, that's where you find the success. Now, why should you even think about starting dropshipping? There's so many people online right now that say dropshipping's dead, Amazon FBA is dead, agencies are dead. And have you ever noticed in any of those videos that you've seen, they all say something's dead, but there's one thing that's the golden ticket right now? That's because they're trying to sell you that course on whatever they're doing at the moment. So they're going to put blame on everything else, saying it's dead and doesn't work, just so you can buy their course or whatever, right? And it's just not the case. Dropshipping is very much alive. You just have to do it in a proper way with proven methods. But if you really think about it, ask yourself this: what is dropshipping, right? I just explained it to you. It's people purchasing things online. You just happen to be the facilitator or the middleman between the supplier and the customer. How could that be dead when e-commerce sales growth are growing at 20% year over year? There's more people shopping online now. It's not dead. You just have to do it with the right methods, put some time and effort into your brand equity and marketing, and you will come up on top. And it's even better that people are saying that because there's less people doing it, which is better and a win-win for all of us. But why else is dropshipping great? So you don't have to hold any inventory or stock, right? So you don't have to have a warehouse. You don't have to order all your products and front that money first and warehouse it in your house and print out a label, ship it to your customers. You don't have to do any of that. That brings me into the next point, which is there's little to no upfront cost. You can start dropshipping for a very cheap amount. You can do it for under $100. You can do it all the way up to $5,000. But the point is that you can do it cheap. It's just going to be a little harder in the beginning because of your budget constraint with advertising and things like that. Obviously, the more money that you have to put into a business, the better. You can inject it with fuel essentially. But if you want to start dropshipping from scratch, you really don't have to put up that much. I started my career in dropshipping with under $500 and built it up to multiple 7-figure businesses. So that's why you see so many creators online starting off with dropshipping. That's like their first business that they've ever done. It's because it has such a low barrier to entry, low upfront costs, and there's less risk involved with starting, right? So you don't have to hold any inventory. So you're not sitting on cash that you can't move. You don't have to have that many upfront costs. Therefore, the only thing that you're really risking is your time. So if you've got time to commit to it, like I've been saying, you will succeed. And that's the only thing that you're really risking. Now, dropshipping is really just the starting point of e-commerce and building online brands and stores in general. Dropshipping is the low barrier to entry. You don't have to warehouse much, and it can definitely help you establish a cash flowing business. But starting off with a dropshipping dropshipping store and turning it into a brand is a whole different thing. Yes, you can make a lot of money dropshipping specifically, but to build it into an exitable business that people would want to purchase and really take it to the next level, you can actually turn all these stores into brands. And a fun fact is BlendJet was actually like one of the bigger brands that started off dropshipping. So was Gymshark, so was Movement Watches. There are so many out there that have become multi-million, if not billion-dollar businesses, all starting with this business model right here. And just so you know, to do that and turn your store into a brand, you have to have custom branding, custom packaging, custom products as well. But once you get all the cash flow set up and your dropshipping store is working, you can do this and pivot into this if you'd like to, or you can just churn and burn a bunch of dropshipping stores. So what are you going to learn with dropshipping, right? There's so many different things that you actually have to play a role in your business. You're kind of wearing all of the hats. We've got copywriting, website design, media buying, email marketing, advertising, entrepreneurship in general, supply chain. There's so many different skills that you've actually learned by running a dropshipping business. And why am I even pointing this out? Well, it's because all of these skills that I'm listing here and more are all high income skills, which is why you see a lot of people start off with dropshipping, run their dropshipping stores and realize, hey, I'm great at website design. I really know how to make a converting website. I'm going to sell this as a service. I'm going to create an agency as well on top of my dropshipping stores. So if you can master all of these skills, or at least one or two or three of them, then you're actually going to be walking away with more than just a dropshipping business. You've got these skills that you can sell to other businesses as well. And the more high income skills that you learn, the more diversified you are as an entrepreneur, which makes you more and more valuable over time. It's really cool that you can start up this business of dropshipping with little to no upfront, little risk, and learn all these high income skills. It's a crazy opportunity that not a lot of people are taking advantage of. The long story short is, if you can learn about dropshipping, have a successful store, and learn these high income skills, you will never be broke again. No matter if your store goes completely down the drain, you can just build a new one. It doesn't matter. You can replicate what you just did on a different brand or product. Or if you hate dropshipping in general and you're like, I don't like doing this anymore, it made me some money in the past, but I want to move on to something else, you learned all these high income skills that will keep you out of your 9-to-5. And now you're probably like, you're one of those guys that says dropshipping is the best thing ever, high income skills. Did you even do it yourself? Well, yes. So here are some of my results. I just threw a bunch on a page because I can't fit them all. I've run multiple 7-figure stores like I've been saying. These are all screenshots of mine. You can see the names there on all of these. So please don't steal these and use them for your own content. But these are some of the results that I've generated for my brands and places that I've traveled to while checking my sales. It's all pretty crazy to do. Coming from a background of supply chain and working a 9-to-5, this is like my dream thing to do, is work on my computer from wherever I want in the world. And it all became possible just because I tried out dropshipping and thought I could do it. Now I've got a whole video about my entire story of how I got started, how long it took me, blah, 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 and all of my background. So you can watch that later if you're interested in that, but I know you're here to learn about how to do it. So let's move right into it. All right, so let's actually talk about what you need to start dropshipping. If you're looking at a budget friendly type of thing, this is for you. So what do you actually really need monetarily wise? Well, the startup cost is going to be your product. So it's going to be anywhere from $10 to $50 on average to order your product to your house. This is important to do, which I'll cover later on. But in long story short, the reason why you want to have the product in hand is because you want constant access to your product to be able to film content, right? You don't have to film it on a crazy camera like this. All you need is really an iPhone, especially with the way TikTok, Reels, YouTube Shorts is going. A lot of the content is just filmed on iPhones and performing better. So it's good to have your product in hand. That way you can have access to unlimited content, unlimited testing, unlimited marketing angles and creatives. It's just something that you really can't skip up right now. So what else do you need? You need a Shopify storefront, right? So to go onto Shopify and build out a store however you want it is extremely cheap. It's only $1 for a trial of 30 days. You actually get 33 days. So basically to start up and build your store, it only costs you $1. I'll have a link down below in the description for that. And if you want to make it even better, you don't want to handle the building of your store, thanks to my partner with Shopify, I'm able to provide you a custom Shopify website with products already loaded onto it and ad creatives handed over to you for free. And on top of that, I'll also give you a e-commerce course, exclusive resources like 200 plus winning products, email marketing flows, basically everything that you need to get started. I will have a link down below in the description for that as well, or you can DM me Builder on Instagram. And the way my software works is we'll build out the custom store, give you all those resources completely for free again, all throughout the Instagram DMs. You don't even have to leave your phone. So if you want to take a little shortcut, take advantage of that. Now, the other thing that you're going to need is your domain. So you can't have a domain that says like flowershop.myshopify.com. You want it to look legit, a real brand, right? You want just a simple domain. And to buy this domain, you can get it on GoDaddy. You You can get it through Shopify directly, but it's going to run you about $15 if it's available. So your all in all in to start up technically would be around $100, maybe $90 or less. It's really not that expensive to actually just get started and get your foot in the door. Now that's the bare minimum. If you're doing organic traffic and things like that, which is just posting on TikTok, Instagram Reels to get traffic onto your website, you don't have to pay for that. But once you move into paid advertising and, upgrading your website, hiring a designer or whatever you want to do, custom labeling, that's where the money can add up a lot more. But in the beginning, if you're tight on a budget, these are your upfront costs, which is pretty crazy to say that you're going to start a business for under $100. I mean, again, I did mine for under 500. So if you got $100, you're good to go. All you need to spend in currency wise is your time, which again, if you've made it this far in this video, you might as well push through to the end because it seems like you're already committed. So you've got this. Now that we've covered all of that, the first thing that you kind of have to do is find the product that you want to sell on your Shopify store, right? You really can't build out a website. You definitely can't make marketing angles or creatives without having your product in mind that you want to sell. So that's why I put together this product criteria checklist for you guys. I'm going to cover these for you guys. This is exactly the product criteria checklist that I use personally to find my winning products. So let's cover this and then I'll show you quickly where you can find these products and start doing that research. So the first pillar is the wow factor. It's got to grab people's attention and keep them interested. With people's attention spans becoming shorter and shorter day over day because of things like TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, there's just so much content out there on your phone. People's attention spans are kind of trash. So you need a product that stands out. This can either stand out as the product itself, or you can stand out based on your ad creative. And so what I mean by that is you can make a really, really cool and engaging ad that people want to watch, even if the product is very boring, right? So if you're a creative person, you might want to rely on ad creatives more and scripting and ideas for that. But if you're not that creative of a person, maybe you should focus more on finding a wow factor product itself. And TikTok does a really good job of this, especially with the TikTok shop. There's so many different products out there that are very boring. Like I see like phone chargers that are going viral on TikTok shop for no reason other than the creator actually posting the video. They've done it in an engaging way and they're selling this very, very boring product that's oversaturated, right? But the value they're bringing and why it's working is because they're good at creating content. And now we're going to move on to the second pillar, which is problem solving. The product needs to solve a problem. I'm actually going to take that back. It does not have to solve a problem, but is very beneficial if it does solve a problem, especially if you're a beginner. And I'll tell you why, right? So if you put a great ad in front of them and a great product that solves someone's problem that they're currently having, they're way more inclined to buy. It's pretty simple, right? But if you're a beginner and you put a product in front of them that's not super problem solving, you better be really good at marketing angles. You better be very great at creatives to actually grab that attention, which is why I don't really recommend it for beginners, right? So if you see a hoodie online, you're like, that's a cool hoodie. You click on it, it's 99 bucks. Maybe you're like, I don't really need it right now. But if you see an advertisement for a product that solves a problem that you have, you are way more inclined to purchase it on the spot. Let me actually show you a quick example of this. I've been talking about this one a little bit more lately. I really like their ads and I really like the angle that they did with this product. So this is Zima Dental. And so what it is, it's a retainer cleaner, right? So this is where e-com gets really exciting. It's like the nerdy side of me or whatever. So this product itself was actually made to be a winner just by marketing angles, and I'll explain. So what this product does, it's very straightforward. It cleans your retainer. You get a little solution with it and it, gets all the grossness out of it. And they say it kills bacteria and all this stuff, right? So it solves the problem of not having to brush your retainers or replace them at the dentist. Plus it's just gross. You want to have clean retainers, right? So why I think this product is awesome and I love this company is because they actually took a different product. So the product itself has no intention of cleaning retainers. This product right here, this is actually a jewelry cleaner, right? So you put in your ring and it cleans your jewelry, blah, blah, blah. You can drop your watches in there or whatever. That's what this product is actually made for. It's like supersonic cleaning for your jewelry specifically. So they had the idea, let's just take that jewelry cleaner and turn it into a retainer cleaner. That's our marketing angle. That's what we're going with. Here's the data to back it up. It's gross. There's bacteria, all this stuff, right? They didn't invent the product. They invented the marketing angle for that product. I wanted to point this out because I think it's super cool. Such a perfect example of how powerful marketing angles actually are. All right, so now that we covered problem-solving products, it's a lot easier to sell. Let's move on to what I was just talking about, marketing angles. So let me cover what marketing angles are. You probably got the gist basically of what I was saying at the Zima Dental product before, but marketing angles in a nutshell are ways that you are advertising a product to certain demographic of audiences and putting that idea of how to use the product in their mind. Another great example is the beauty skincare refrigerator. All they took was a mini refrigerator and they put on the marketing angle of your skincare goes in this now. Instead of of your beers, right? So they did not invent this product. It's a refrigerator. They did nothing to the product except made it smaller, which saved them more money. And they added the marketing angle of saying, and you know, you got to put your skincare stuff in there. It's better to keep it at the temperature of 40 degrees for whatever reason, right? Now, in the perception of the consumer, it's a whole new product. It's a skincare refrigerator. It's not a regular refrigerator. So they just slapped on that marketing angle into an existing product. And that's why it started doing very, very well. Around like 2018, you saw it popping up all over Urban Outfitters, companies online, they were crushing it. That's how powerful marketing angles are. And a great exercise for finding winning products that I like to do, and you'll actually just get used to it and you'll start looking at products at stores and think of new ways to advertise them all the time once you've mastered this skill. But when you're looking for a winning product, you want to look at that product and say, can I write down 10 different marketing angles of this product? The more marketing angles that I can come up with, the higher chance of success I can make this product a winner. Because let's say you've got 10 angles, right? It's a skincare fridge, it's a fridge for your pet food, and 8 other angles, right? So now you can create a bunch of creatives for all of those angles. And let's say 9 of the 10 fail. No one purchased them. People didn't like the angle. They weren't clicking on it. But there's one, the skincare angle, that actually worked. People purchased that one. And that would be your winning marketing angle. And now your whole website is centered around skincare and all this stuff, right? But so basically, in short, the more marketing angles equals the more amount of shots that you can take at this product. And the more shots that you can take, the more chances that you're going to make one of those shots. Now, the next pillar on the product criteria checklist is testimonial or UGC style clips. This ties back into ordering the product to your house. If you can create content on your iPhone of your product, it's going to be a lot easier to start as a beginner because you don't want to outsource ads because they do a bad job. You want to have constant access to be able to create this kind of content. This will definitely be a benefit to you, especially as a beginner. So don't order a product that you can't take videos of, right? Or it doesn't look good on camera. Or if you're trying to sell a shipping container house, I guess you could make content with that. But you get what my point is. If you can create great UGC content with it, and you know what I'm talking about, it's TikTokers that are like, I love my new, headbands because they do this, this, and that. Like, you gotta check them out today. Buy this. That's what UGC content is. If you can do that with your product and it meets that criteria, it's gonna be a lot easier for you to get content. Now, this is where I find all of my winning products. This is Manea. I've been using them for years before they even were a sponsor on my YouTube channel. It's a fantastic company for product research. They basically consolidate everything for you. So they put things like top 10 winning products of the day by platform. If you're looking for TikTok products, you like advertising on there, you'll see some new products pop up every day. You can click on see more on one of the products. It'll take you to their page, how many views that they've got, how many likes, what the engagement looks like. You can also click on the link here and it'll take you onto their webpage so you can get inspiration for your own website. Very powerful tool, super easy with product research, and just makes the process a lot easier rather than just scrolling on AliExpress. So if you want to try out Manea for your product research, if you're on that stage right now, I'll have a link down below in the description where you can try it out for free. All right, so now you've found a product. What's next? At this point, you need to start moving with speed. Most beginners get caught in the procrastination efforts and get analysis paralysis of finding products. Just find one with good marketing angles that you think, or you can come up with more, or you can come up with at least 10, and now move on to the next steps as quickly as possible. Keep that momentum high. So now you're gonna order the product. You can order the product on Amazon. If you can find it on there, you can get that product to your house in 1 day shipping, right? So get the product in hand as soon as possible. And if you can't, order it from like Zendrop, which I'll be talking about later on in this video, but basically get the product as fast as possible in your hands. Now, after you found the product, you wanna build out your Shopify website. Now, I'm actually not gonna cover how to build out a full Shopify website. One, you can either watch my full tutorial video on how to build out a converting website, or you can just use the AI builder that I built for you guys and partnered with Shopify. Again, it'll be a great template for you to work off of, and all you have to do is grab it in the description down below or DM me builder on Instagram. It makes it a lot easier. You're gonna save 3 days worth of work. You do have to tidy up some things, like changing some product descriptions to fit the angles that you want, maybe switch up some product photos, but it pretty much is gonna set it up for you on a great template and a great theme. So make sure you do that and take advantage of that while you can. Now that you've got your website set up, you now want to start focusing on filming content. So this is what we talked about earlier with ordering the product to your house and filming content on your iPhone. Try to follow different trends that you see on TikTok that fit into the niche of your product. Just get some practice with it because it's kind of hard to learn if you're not used to using social media in general. Now, while we're on the topic of advertising, let's talk about the difference between organic and paid traffic. I know I briefly mentioned it, but I want to cover it a little bit deeper. So organic traffic is anything on TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts that you can post and hopefully you can go viral, right? So it's organic because it's actually just happening through algorithms and people liking your content rather than you paying sponsored posts to show your product in your advertisements. That's mainly the biggest difference, but there's some strategies that you want to do with organic traffic, like posting on TikTok every single day, 3 videos a day. That is a non-negotiable. You have to get your account rolling, snowballing, and to become like valued I guess, in the eyes of TikTok. They want you to post consistently and post high quality content as well. Of course, your first couple videos of organic traffic are probably not going to hit like 1 million views. They might get like 100, but the more and more that you post, you'll start to learn the formula of what people like to see, and you're going to start honing down on that process. And then eventually you're going to get one video that does 10K, and then eventually one that does 50, and then 100K. And then you kind of learn why things go viral, which is super helpful, and then you just rinse and repeat that process. So to do this, you can test different marketing angles, different hooks of your video. You can follow different trends that relate to your product, or you can integrate with your product. There's a lot of different ways to approach organic marketing, but the biggest piece of advice is just consistency with it. Now, paid traffic is completely opposite. You get faster results, so you don't have to go through that waiting period. It's more expensive though, and it's a little bit harder to do as a beginner because now you're spending your hard-earned cash on paid advertisements, and maybe you're not the best at marketing angles yet or creatives yet. So you don't necessarily want to waste all of that money right in the beginning. It's always better to start with organic first and kind of learn what people like to see online. But through paid, you can test marketing angles through image ads, find what works, get video ads made from them. But the whole process is a little bit harder to do in general, mainly just because it's paid, right? You don't want to waste your money. So if you do want to go straight into paid and get your results as quick as possible, I really recommend taking your time to craft the best marketing angles and the best creatives you can before you start running paid traffic. Otherwise, you're going to waste your money. So that means don't rush the process. Really try and focus, get feedback from other people, other creators to see if your ads are good enough to start running, and then start running those paid ads on Facebook. So that's the difference between the two advertising platforms or methods, I should say. Just wanted to let you guys know that ahead of time before we move on to the next step. Now we're going to go back to building our website, right? So even though I'm going to build out the website for you, there are still things that you need to learn about building a website. And there's some things that you still need to tweak. Maybe you want a different logo. Maybe you want, custom copy. So the first is Canva. So to edit all of your photos, it's great to use Canva. It's definitely a powerful enough tool. You don't need Photoshop. Pop in your images there, your headers, or any kind of B-roll type of photos. B-roll is video, but any type of videos that you want to edit for your website to fit into your Shopify, use Canva. Super easy tool to use. They have a free plan of it, so you don't have to pay for it. All you have to do, really, if you want to spice up like your product images, is pull an image of your product from like AliExpress, pop it into Canva, remove the background, put it on a different background, spice up the edges, maybe add some shadows, and then all you have to do is download it, export it, put it back into Shopify, and you've got yourself a brand new product image, and it also looks a lot better than the AliExpress ones. Now, if you're editing videos for your ad creatives on TikTok, or if it's paid, you can use the software CapCut. So CapCut is just an app on your phone that you upload videos on and you just edit them, right? So you don't have to use Adobe Premiere Pro or anything like that. You can just put in your iPhone videos into CapCut, start editing them, and make really good ads with it. It's also free as well, and they've got a bunch of great templates on there. You've probably seen it on TikTok already. Now you're probably going to want to change some of the copy on your website as well. So copy is everything from the headlines, the product description, the copy for your advertisements, basically any piece of text that you use in your business all together. So what I recommend doing is going onto Dropbotai to do all of your copy for you. So this is Dropbotai. All you have to do is plug in your product here, any additional information, and choose any of the copies that you want to export onto your website. So if you have a jade roller and that's what you're selling, and one of your angles is targeting women ages 40 plus who want to reduce their wrinkles, you just plug that in right here. Then click on product descriptions, some buzzwords, maybe some marketing angles to come up with it, some hooks. You choose whatever you want and hit generate. And then on the right side, you'll see your generations, all of the buzzwords, the product descriptions, the hooks, the marketing angles, and you can literally just click copy and plug it right into your website. It makes it super, super easy. So if you want to try out Dropbot, everything I talk about in this video, I'll have linked down below for you guys. So make sure to check those out. Now, lastly, we need to talk about integrating a reliable supplier onto your website. So Zendrop is the most reliable supplier to date. They've got the best shipping times. They have the best customer service. They offer private labeling of all your products when you want to scale it up. They do print on demand. They do pretty much everything. And what makes them so good is that their short shipping times actually come from US warehouses that they own. Rather than other companies that are claiming to say, we warehouse in the US and we'll ship it out in 2 days. They actually do this. So it makes it very, very reliable. And it's very important because if you don't have a reliable supply chain and a supplier, you're going to run into a ton of headaches, right? So if you sell a bunch of products and they actually don't get delivered to your customer, or it takes like 4 months or something like that, you're going to get a ton of refunds and chargebacks, and it's going to end your business. It really is that important to have a reliable supplier. It's the lifeblood of your business. We're actually going to cover Zendrop later on, but make sure you have it integrated in your site. So if you're following along step by step, do that now in the description below. Now moving on to setting up your Facebook ad campaigns. This is post organic, right? So once you get an organic video that goes viral, you're thinking that's the best video that I've made. It went viral. That means people liked it. Why don't I take this and hopefully made some money off of it when people visited your website? And if so, let's reinvest this money into Facebook ads and run run this ad as a paid campaign. That way you can have sustainable traffic coming in. So setting up Facebook ad campaigns is actually super easy nowadays. I know there's a lot of strategy videos out there, but it's very simple because the algorithm change. It's a long story, right? iOS 14 privacy updates basically allows Facebook now to have most marketers go broad with their targeting. You don't have to do any like crazy strategies really anymore. So some key points that I want to make when you're running your Facebook ads, broad targeting. So having no interest in your targeting, right? So instead of saying Starbucks as an interest, people are interested in Starbucks, want to view my ad too. So show it to them. You leave that completely blank. The only things that you'd want to change would be like the age group. If it's a product for like 40-year-olds plus, you can change that. You can also change the geography element. So if you want to advertise to only the United States, that's fine to change as well. But when you're setting up your campaigns, there's a campaign level, which is like the overarching one. There's the ad set level where all the interest targeting is done. And there's the creative level where you plug in your creative. In the beginning, when you're testing angles and ads, I want you to have one ad set for each angle. So let's say you came up with 3 marketing angles. You want to have 3 different ad sets with 3 different marketing angles under each of them. That way you can test them against each other, and each one spent maybe $25. And you can see, wow, this one got a sale. This one didn't get any. This one got 2 sales. This is probably the best angle. Let's ramp it up. Let's scale it a little bit to see if this one's actually the winning angle. That's how you should set up your campaigns, which is an ABO, so an ad budget level, right? So each one is getting a dedicated $25, $25, $25, rather than a CBO, which is a campaign budget optimization. Say you put in a budget of $100, it distributes it below to each of those marketing angles how Facebook sees fit. So one might spend $25, one might spend $50, one might spend another $25. But you want a fair test in the beginning. So you want to allocate the exact same amount of money for each one to test them against each other. I know I covered that super quickly. I'm not going to get into this video because I just posted a full strategy of how to do this step by step. So once you get to that part, make sure to go back to that video and check that out. You'll have everything you need to know step by step. So now moving on, we've got the product, we've built out the website, we've got our ads created, we started running organic, we've got Zendrop already plugged in for the supplier. We're moving into paid traffic maybe, but what we need to do is fulfill those orders that actually came in. So fulfill all of your orders using Zendrop. I already told you to integrate it into your website. It's definitely just the easiest way to find a supplier. If you're not using Zendrop, the alternative is looking on AliExpress and Alibaba. They're extremely unreliable. You're gonna have to message over 100 people before you find a reliable supplier, maybe. And then on top of that, you still don't know if they're legit. And it's also coming straight out of China where the shipping times are usually like 45 days, right? We want fast shipping times to have happy customers. So this is what it looks like inside of Zendrop. You've got your dashboard, so it syncs automatically onto Shopify. It tells you about all the orders that they're fulfilling. It's got all of your, revenue and the sales, how much it costs, what your profit is. That all is done for you in the dashboard here, which is super nice. You can also find products on Zendrop. So you can see ones that are done by Zendrop Fulfillment, which means they actually own these warehouses, which means they have full control of shipping and the supply chain. These are just the new arrivals. They have a ton of products always coming in. And if you don't actually find any products on here that you want to sell, or you can't find your exact one, they still allow you to import from AliExpress that product and they'll fulfill it for you still. So they make it really, really easy to do all of this. And they've got great features like automatic order fulfillment. So when people place an order the very next day, they'll automatically pay for it and ship it out for you. You don't have to do anything at all. They also have courses like the Zendrop Academy. They've got AI now. You can request them to brand products for you. There's just a ton of different things that they offer as a service for all fulfillment and supplier needs. I can't recommend Zendrop enough in terms of a supplier. It makes the whole process so much easier. And if you don't, and you go through AliExpress, I'm telling you, you will have a ton of headaches. Orders won't show up, or they'll show up 45 days later, or they'll show up broken and ugly packaging. They can do all of this here. They can set up custom boxes and packages for you to really build out your brand and have a sustainable brand that you can exit later on. So make sure you use Zendrop as a supplier. I'll have a link down below in the description for that as well. Now that we know how to fulfill orders, we need to move on to the next step, and there is still a last step. That is scaling and continuously testing. So for scaling, if you're running paid ads, you can duplicate what's working and increase the budget by 20%. So if you're running a profitable ad on Facebook and you're spending $100 a day, just duplicate that whole campaign and change the budget to $120. And if it remains the same return on your ad spend, and you're still making the same amount of sales, you can continuously do this over and over again. That way you're generating more and more revenue and more profit for the day. But you always want to be testing, right? You want to test different angles against each other, new creatives. Can I improve that creative? Maybe I can, maybe I can't. Let's test it and find out. If you don't continuously test, and let's say you get a winner, it's working well on Facebook, you're making $500, $1,000 profit a day, and then you go mess around and start partying and doing all this stuff, right? Because it's automatically running and Zendrop's automatically fulfilling it. You're thinking probably, what's the harm in that? That's what I want to do. But the thing is, something can go wrong at any second, right? So if you're not continuously testing and pushing your business forward, when that ad stops working, or when people aren't interested anymore, or when Facebook accidentally shuts down, or Shopify is down for the day, you need to be on top of it and ready to make your next move and next step. So you always should be testing new angles, and you can always improve everything, right? You don't just want to go sit back and relax, because inevitably something something will go wrong, and then you're back to square one having to restart. And we want to build a sustainable business that has sustainable income. That way you can leave your 9 to 5, right? So you always want to be testing ahead of the time because you want to be making more and more money. And when something stops working, you've already got the next 3 products in line, or the next 3 angles that are working, or advertisements. You also want to start things like email marketing, right? So on the back end, people that don't convert and abandon their cart or checkout, make sure you have email recovery flows set up in place to send them an email and say, hey, take 10% off, come back and finish your order. You can always be optimizing and fixing each of these steps. You can always get better and better. That's why you see every single big e-commerce brand changing their website, changing their advertisements, changing their products, changing their features, because you can always improve, fix things, and grab people's attention and be more profitable in the end. That is the last step. From A to Z of how you should be starting your business, some insight of what exactly you need to be looking forward to, what to do. This was all laid out in front of you. I hope that you guys take my advice seriously, because this is the method that works over and over again for starting a dropshipping business. And of course, if you want more detailed step-by-step stuff, like let's just say you need to run Facebook ads now, make sure to check out my full guides for each of these individual steps, because I go way more in depth and answer probably every single question you have completely for free. It's all on my YouTube channel. All right, guys, thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this style of video. I don't really do that many slideshows, so I decided to test it out, see if it was easier to follow along. Let me know what you think in the comments down below if you've made it this far into the video. Also leave a like and remember to subscribe. I'm going to be posting a ton of great content. All right, guys, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.